Well, as you may know, yesterday I was down at the National Comedy Center to interview Amy Poehler about her latest project. Ron Howard actually approached her about directing a documentary about Lucille and Desi Arnaz, and she said, yes, please. Lucy and Desi premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. It begins streaming on Amazon Prime Friday. So Poehler was at the Comedy Center last night for a special screening of the film.
The hope of this film, which is to keep alive the spirit of Lucy and Desi, to make people realize that these people were incredibly modern, incredibly innovative, and that there's a reason why we're still talking about them and their work 70 years later.
And that's where our conversation begins. And we are here at the National Comedy Center with the incredibly lifelike, brand new Amy Poehler exhibit. Looks amazing.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy Poehler.
Hi.
It's wonderful to meet you and welcome back to Jamestown.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be back. When we were here in the summer, we were thinking about visualizing the ability to be back here to screen the film, and so we're so happy that it happened.
Growing up in this region, everyone knows that Jamestown is Lucy's hometown, and there's so much to that. And I just think of you taking on a challenge where it's not just legend, it's almost this mythology, and having to kind of go back and find the humans in that.
That's exactly right. It was trying to figure out the human story and what are trailblazers, icons, geniuses, but those words tend to kind of flatten things out. And I really wanted people to remember the very complicated people that were Lucy and Desi, and also I think that there's a really beautiful human lesson in not only their relationship together and their lifelong respect and love for each other, but also what it looks like to take big swings and to bet on yourself.
And helping you with that and with the storytelling are Lucy and Desi in their own voices, which is really remarkable.
Yes, Lucy Arnaz Luckenbill and her whole family allowed us to hear and get access to these incredible tapes, audio tapes, where we let Lucy and Desi tell their own story. So we really wanted their voices to be the predominant voices in the piece. And so we hear from them, and we hear what they say, and we hear what they don't say, and we allow them the first chance at telling us how they felt about their lives.
You're at a point now where you're now sort of really releasing this out into the universe to everyone, but this has been your thing that you've been doing and your process. What are you taking with you out of this into the next thing and the next thing?
You know, I've had such an incredible experience working with the producers on this. I'm a huge fan of the documentary space, and I am very honored to be directing something as important and as special as this with them. I learned a ton in terms of what one needs to do to enter something this big, because to your point, I think you have to really figure out your personal connection to any piece of art that you make so you can figure out why you should be making it. So I'm taking a lot. I am taking a lot of personal and emotional lessons, and also just an even deeper respect and admiration and love for Lucy and Desi and their work.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's sort of been Lucy and kind of Desi and sort of understanding these two complicated humans together.
Yeah, they were such an incredible team, and they really complemented each other, and we talked a lot. Robert Martinez, the editor, and I talked a lot about this idea that two types of music were playing at different times, and when they met each other, they made the best music of their lives. So our hope was that both Lucy and Desi are highlighted here. We get to see what they've done, and we get to watch them in concert with each other.
So I know throughout this process you probably answer a lot of the same questions over and over again. So I'm going to ask you one of my favorite questions to ask people, which is...
Ooh, have you seen a ghost? No.
Nope.
Okay.
If you had an animal defend you in a court of law, which one would it be?
This is a great question, because the thought of anthropomorphizing animals is already exciting. I'm going to probably say a fox.
Oh, smart.
I feel like foxes would make good lawyers. I feel like they're smart. I feel like they're well-dressed. I feel like they're funny. I feel like they would have some good, quips. I feel like a fox is your lawyer and you can't go wrong. But I'm going to think about this question for the rest of the day.
Maybe the rest of your life. Thank you so much, Amy. Congratulations on Lucy and Desi, and it's such a treat to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. Same. A pleasure.
And again, you'll be able to see Lucy and Desi streaming this Friday on Amazon Prime. And there's a little more bonus footage from our interview yesterday. We're saving that for you in the Most Buffalo story of the day. So do you have an answer to the animal that would
I was
defend
going
you in
to
a court of
ask
law?
you.
I don't know. I've gone back and forth. For some reason, I always go toward giraffe, and I don't know why, but I always think they would be wearing half glasses at the same time. I always put that to it. I asked Franco, and he immediately, because he was like, well, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to ask? And I just said, if I have time, I really want to ask her this really, very dumb question. And so I said, I said what the question was, zero hesitation, octopus. So I don't know. Everybody has their answer. And then when after we were finished with our interview and the group walked away, you heard them talking, and someone was like, a moose, and so you could just
That's awesome.
continuing that conversation.
But here's the thing, now when they reach back out to you, because Amy Poehler is going to be producing an animated series about little animals in court,
Yes.
you should get some rights to that.
Speak it into the universe. Well, anyway, so a little more to come in the Most Buffalo story of the day, but right now we'll get you another check of that forecast.